Everybody, Adam here for True North Wilds. It's a beautiful, clear, sunny day, finally, after what feels like forever. Today I am doing a very special unboxing of the RLM Elite Pike Box from Simple Fishing. Simplefishing.ca if you want to check them out. They got pike, they got walleye, they got bass. They come every 2 months. You can do a trial offer where there's no recurring payments, all kinds of goodies. Check them out there. Not only am I going to be able to open these up, show you, and give you my thoughts on them, I'm going to be able to immediately tie them on, throw them in the water, test them out, and hopefully catch some fish. What? It's going to be awesome. We got a pretty well-packed box here, and I'm seeing some pretty big baits already. So first up, we have a Smart Baits crankbait. This thing is pretty big. This is one of the bigger Smart Baits cranks that I've seen. Model, just a bunch of numbers, CC 130. This is cool. I love the carrying cases that these come in, these Smart Baits cranks. They're reusable hard plastic cases. Awesome. The crankbait itself, ooh, I can hear a big thumping rattle. The Smart Baits thing is, of course, their color changing. Color changes everything is their slogan. I'm not sure what color this is supposed to change to. It looks like the bottom changes between white and pink, which is kind of neat. Find out how that works in the water, I guess, pretty soon. Overall, the color is really nice on top. It's the really blue, sparkly, nice gold, yellowish stripe along the middle, and the nice big red dot. Just a really nice bait fish pattern. Very colorful, very flashy. Should work pretty well in the sort of stained, murky water that we have here. Holy smokes. That is a big blade bait. The Blitz Blade, the better blade bait. Pro's Choice High Performance from Blitz Lures. Solid one piece. What does this thing weigh? 3.5 ounce Blitz Blade, silver blue. It's a good thing I brought my medium heavy rod here. I'm gonna need it. This is a crazy looking lure. I've never ever even seen one the size that this one is. That is a heavy lure. That is gonna get down deep. This will be something I'm gonna have to go a little ways out, I think. I'm going to have to find that bottom of that slope and go deep and try and find one of those big females that's kind of sitting in her territory. Really cool. Nice color. Your basic silver and blue is always a solid color choice. Nice and shiny. It's got a lot of that sparkle in. So again, with the water that we have here, you can kind of see it's a brown, murky sort of color. So that'll work really well. I'm excited to try that. That's going to be an interesting lure to use. The biggest blade bait that I've ever used is about 1/3 of the size of this one, so that's pretty crazy. Of course, what is a pike box without a surface frog? Let's take a look at this. This is the Blitz Frog. The Blitz Frog, weedless, of course. Sexy shad color. I love it. That's a cool looking frog. And the interesting thing about this is it has a rattle in it. Don't know if you can hear that, but there's a pretty substantial rattle in there. It's a really nice soft plastic body, long white streamers, that sexy shad pattern of the yellow line with the black dot. It's sort of usually it's a gray or a blue top, and then a white belly, of course. Nice looking frog, good size. I might get some use out of this today. I'm not sure if I have the weeds around here to throw this, but I will certainly try and find them. I love surface frogs. There's nothing quite like a big pike coming up from underneath and exploding on a frog. So hopefully I'll get to that today. Smart Baits, Mighty Minnow. So I'm familiar with these. I get a lot of Smart Baits. They're really good quality plastic. This one is supposed to color change from chartreuse to blood red. As usual, I don't care too much about the color change aspect of it. The plastic itself, the Mighty Minnows are nice. They have a nice fork tail on them. You get a lot of good action. The initial color of this, that chartreuse color, is really nice. I'm not sure what it'll look like when it changes. It's got a fair bit of sparkle in here. It's very fine sparkles. They don't immediately pop up, but when you start rotating it in the light, it does show pretty well. And then you're just your standard minnow sort of profile. So you hook this up weedless. It's got these slots on bottom and top to do a wide gap weedless setup. So that's interesting. These are good multi-species baits. This will be good for pike, bass, walleye. definitely, I always use soft plastic, so this is definitely going to go in the arsenal. There's nothing wrong with smart baits plastics. I usually do pretty well on them. So next up, we have a Panther Martin spinner. Now, Scott from Simple Fishing sort of gave us a heads up that this would be in the box. He was really excited about it. Apparently Panther Martin is a classic. I am almost ashamed to admit I have never heard of them before. I don't know this brand whatsoever, so I'm sorry, Scott. I don't have the hype that you have because I've never used one before. But apparently it's a classic sort of brand, according to him and others. So it looks, that being said, it looks like a solid spinner. It looks really nice. It's a nice gold color. Ooh, I really like the feathering on it. It's got that orange and black feathering on it, and it's got the single hook instead of the treble, which I absolutely love for pike. I always prefer the single hook over the treble hooks. It's just so much easier to release them afterwards. And the hookup rate tends to be a little bit better, and landing them on the boat, all that stuff just seems to go so much easier with single hooks. So I'm happy to see that. It's a nice solid weight on it, and it's just a nice plain brass spinner. Really good spin action there. I'm excited to give that a try. I'll definitely be throwing that out today and seeing what I can bring in. Spinners like this are a good multi-species lure. Again, they're great for pike, bass, trout, and walleye. Everything will kind of go after a spinner like this. The color is really good for pike. That orange, they like those oranges and pinks and reds around here anyway, so definitely a good lure. Sorry, Scott, that I don't know the brand. I'll take your word for it that it's a classic though, and I'm excited to try it out. Okay, last up. Now this is something, again, no pike box really should be complete without a massive swim bait. This thing is a Live Target swim bait series, the Hitch. This is huge. I was a little bit worried, I'll be honest, when he went to the smaller box format that there'd be less bigger lures in the pike box. Obviously I was worrying about nothing. Between the smart baits, big crank, and this thing, which is absolutely massive, I obviously had nothing to worry about. Let's see if I can actually get into this thing. So like all Live Target lures, it was packaged really, really well. This doesn't have a model number. It's just this, the Hitch. I said that already. It's the Hitch. 6 2/3 inch, 2 ounce, medium slow sink speed. Natural bronze is the color. No rattle. No rattle. Nice, big, chunky paddle tail. This thing's got some beef. It's not just a paddle tail. It's a paddle tail that has extra chunk added on. It's flared out on the sides. So that's really cool. That's going to give a lot of action in the water. It's a really nice color. That bronze color on top, and then that silver pattern. It's got lots of sparkle in there. This looks really, really lifelike. Of course, Live Target is sort of known for that, so I would expect nothing less. Nice white belly on it. Big hook out the back, and then it's got a eyelet here that you can attach a second hook if you want. I don't have any extra hooks today to do that, so I'm just going to fish it with the top hook, but that should be enough. This is going to attract some big pike. You look at the size of this thing and you think of the size of the pike that's going to come after this. I'm going to pull in some big fish on this, I have no doubt. The colors on this, again, are just fantastic. Whenever I get a Live Target lure, I just can't get over how realistic that they managed to make them. Really nice lure. I'm happy to get that. That is very, very appropriate for a pike box. This is a fish that looks like a bait fish that I would find in this river right now. So this will be something that I absolutely will have success on this river, hopefully today. So that's it for the box for June. Great box. I really can't complain about anything in this box. Everything is size appropriate. Everything's appropriate for pike. The spinner looks really great. It's going to be a good multi-species lure. The plastic's going to be good for multi-species. The frog, of course, is a classic pike lure. The big crankbait and the big swim bait. I mean, you can't go wrong with big baits for big pike. It's a good mix of natural colors and flash, which is going to be great for a river like this, where I'm going to have some shallower, clear spots that the natural should work really well. I'm going to have some darker, shaded spots and murkier spots and deeper spots where the flash should work a little bit better. So it's nice to have that variety to be able to mix it up. Simplefishing.ca if you want to check them out. If you like what you see there, don't forget you can use promo code TrueNorth for a 15% discount on your first subscription.